Why don't you give me a sign? Like the sea that leaves a trail along that shore. It's not your problem, it's mine. Everybody thinks that I'm okay. Sometimes I think I am too. I'm on the outside looking in. I'm waiting for the shockwaves to begin. Oh, won't you let me hold you for one time? Just a rainy day in a London cafe, a London cafe. So give me one last serenade. Say to me, or swear at me till the night turns into day. And it was a shame when daylight faded, because we didn't notice at all.
Hello?
Hello, I'm Sophia Jessica, and welcome to the Fan Carpet.
The story came to me ages ago when I was first year at university at film school, like around 20 years ago, and I literally wrote it down. You know, when I was in my early 20s, the same age as the main characters in the film, I wrote it down as a one-pager, and it was on. You know, I thought it would, and at that point it was a much simpler idea, and I thought it would be a great first feature. Obviously, my first feature ended up being another film, Under the Shadow. And then after that, I was like, what should I do? I went and looked at my, old ideas, and I found this one page, and I thought, oh, this is very timely and relevant. Maybe I can start, building, turning this into a script. Yeah. And now here we are. I always have like people in my mind when the casting starts, when we're about to send the script out to cast. I have specific ideas of who would be perfect for it. For instance, George Mackay always, really was picturing Toby as George Mackay, and I'm so blessed that I managed to, work with him. And same as Hugh Bonneville. I really wanted someone that, people don't expect to do such a role, and same with Kelly MacDonald, massive fan of Kelly. So yeah, when it comes to casting, that's when I start to think about who would be perfect for the roles, really. Thank you. Isabel Waller-Bridge did a wonderful job. I actually got to meet Isabel after my first feature, and we were saying we should collaborate, and then when this opportunity came, I asked Isabel if she would be keen, and she read the script, and again, I'm so lucky that she said yes. And one thing I love about Isabel is that she always thinks out of the box. I mean, with her music for Fleabag, and obviously even when she does music for period dramas like Emma, she genuinely does it differently, and that's what this film needed. And I think she did a wonderful job capturing that bringing the old and new sort of together, the more old side of London and the more diverse, and with the more diverse new side. Yeah, I think she did a wonderful job. I think the biggest theme in the film is for me is how institutions can fail us as individuals. And I'm not talking about just about big institutions like police or the government. It also are on a smaller level, our families, friendship groups. And I guess the big question is that, well, if big institutions are failing us, then shouldn't we have each other's backs and try to make the smaller institutions work? I guess that was the heartbeat of the story for me, if that makes sense. I guess the quick log line is I Came By is about this young rebel without a cause graffiti artist played by George Mackay named Toby, and he and his friend, they break into homes of the elite or the wealthy and tag their wall, I came by. It's their way of saying we're watching you. And then Toby, played by George Mackay, breaks into the wrong house, which is owned by Sir Hector Blake, played by Hugh Bonneville, and then things starts unraveling from there, and it affects his relationship with his friendship with Jay, played by Purcell Ascot, and his relationship with his mother, played by Kelly MacDonald. Exactly that like everyone's just used to the affable sort of like huggable Hugh Bonneville, and like everyone knows Hugh Bonneville from his comedies and Downton and Paddington, and family films. So I just I just wanted, for the role of Hector Blake, I wanted someone that the audience haven't an actor that the audience haven't seen doing such a role before, and Hugh is perfect for it. And in the script, I even describe Hector Blake. I think it's like British Mr. Rogers' first line, and that's why I always wanted Hugh, and so blessed that he came on board. Kelly's character, named Lizzie, she's the young mother of the 23-year-old Toby, played by George Mackay, and what happens is that after Toby breaks into the home of this judge, things unravel, and it starts affecting his mother, which is played by Kelly, and she needs to come on board and also do a bit of detective work to figure out who Hector is and what secrets he's got. What is the essence of a good thriller and good suspense? Unpredictability, making sure that like it's not predictable, and making sure there are good enough tension, and sometimes giving more information to the audience so that the audience are one step ahead than the characters, if that makes sense. Anything and everything, and hopefully I would love to show variety as I grow. And I would see this more, it's like edges towards more like a thriller and a neo-noir rather than a horror, but it does have some terrifying jumpy moments, of course. I wanted Hector Blake to be, on the surface, be this like very charming, the last person you think that has some dark secrets. Even in the script, the way I described them is that when you first see him, he looks like almost looks like a British Mr. Rogers. So that's why I thought like Hugh would be perfect, because nobody has seen him do such a role before, and he's so amazing in it. And I can't wait for the audience to see him doing this, because it's like they'll be surprised, and he can be terrifying at times. Got a few projects in the pipeline. I love to do a sci-fi and maybe a straight drama, and I also love TV as well. So it's just all about like what would it's a film and TV industry. You're always like you're waiting for that green light. So it really depends on like what goes, how things align and like what gets greenlit. The collaboration with Netflix was wonderful. Netflix have been very kind to me from my very first film when they acquired Under the Shadow at Sundance, my first feature, and they've been wonderful. And one of the great things about them is they always like encourage me to think out of the box, which is very fresh, rather than following a formula. And in this day and age that like cinemas are like dominated by big franchises and tentpoles, I think streamers like Netflix give opportunities to more like independent filmmakers to think out of the box, and those, to be able to make films that capture. Like I grew up in the '90s watching a lot of the films like Spike Jonze films or Fincher films that like kind of like weren't necessarily following a formula, and I think streamers like Netflix allows that let filmmakers to be more bold and tell more original stories.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. Please follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram for more content next time.
Rage. They're so liberating, so empowering. Do you want to know what happened?
I'm here on the largest of the Balearic Islands, Mallorca, with the turquoise waters of the Mediterranean Sea, beautiful mountainous landscape, the thriving city of Palma, quaint little market towns, a growing number of luxury hotels. It's no surprise that the likes of Audrey Hepburn and Elizabeth Taylor like to holiday here. So come and join me as I take you round Mallorca.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. If you like this video, be sure to click that thumbs up button at the bottom of your screen. And also be sure to subscribe to the Fan Carpet YouTube channels. They're absolutely free and so much fun too. Be sure to check out the official website, thefancarpet.com. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date with reviews, competitions, the latest news, and so much more.